Hello everybody, it's Vertical Sandwich. We're going to complete the import-export garages and the emergency vehicle crane so that we can have infinite amounts of all the vehicles in the game, essentially. So, the second import-export garage is on the third island, and it's in the north area of the industrial area at this little bend in the road. It's kind of hard to miss. And this one, most of the cars for this are just everywhere. They're just super easy. Anything you grab, if you didn't throw it in the first import-export garage, it goes in this one. So, I mean, and they want stupid stuff. Like stuff you would never spawn on purpose, like a stallion or a perennial. Now, there are some interesting things that go in here, like the BF injection, which we know where the standard spawn for that is. That's the most rare vehicle that goes in here. There's also, in the airport parking lot here, you're going to find 3 of the cars you need. That's far easier than trying to spawn them. You're going to find the Mañana, the Sentinel, and the Infernus. So we'll see. We're going to complete, like I said, we're going to complete all 3 of these in this post-commentated video. And then we will have them. Now, this garage wants a taxi and a cabbie, which is something, without this garage, you would probably, I didn't notice the difference. Like, and we're only going to show, I'm going to show you me grabbing, I'm going to show me grabbing these vehicles and me delivering them. So here's an Idaho. It's another really common spawn vehicle. There's a lot of, most of these vehicles are vehicles we've seen and jumped into accidentally all through the game. None of these are super rare. I mean, really, most of these can be found on the third island. I found almost all of them on the third island with the exception of like the Stinger. I think I found on the second island. I just did, like, I did some of these I just grabbed literally just right out in front of here. I mean, you will see how close I get these vehicles to this garage. It's ridiculous. So here's the Stretch, which is another a weirder vehicle to have to put into. I actually get busted while collecting these cars, and I'm gonna put it. I put it in the video because it was an interesting bust. You'll also see me freak out a couple times, because that's what I do when I'm driving in a Grand Theft Auto game. I shoot people and I flip out. So this is what a cabbie looks like. It looks like an older taxi. Like, the taxis have very boxy 80s car looks to them. And this has more of a, you know, 60s big city cab kind of look. So, and then here's, by contrast, here's a regular taxi. Running into a stretch, and then running over people on the side of the road. Because that's what cabbies do. Yeah, this garage also wants a Kuruma, which I think we get right out in front of the garage. Yeah, like that guy really made me angry. So here's an Esperanto. We had to chase this all of half a block. And this might be one of the harder ones on the list to get. Yeah, you just don't see them very often. They're big, they're bulky, their handling is horrible. But like, yeah, I mean, I got it right here. There was no cut in that video. So here's our Infernus, the first of 4 sports cars we will collect. They want an Infernus, a Cheetah, a Banshee, and a Stinger. The sports cars are really what make this garage worth it, I guess. That and you get $20,000 for finishing the list. All total, we'll get $60,000 just in this post-commentating thing. And then here's our Sentinel.
He ain't no good with that one.
So, in the airport at the far southern end, there are these two hangars, and this is where the dodo is. There are actually several dodos in the airport, apparently. I don't know, I only found this one. And you can get in it, it has no wings. Like, its wings have been clipped. And there is a way to, like, stall it out repeatedly and kind of fly it, I guess. But I didn't see a need, really. So I drove it, and it's huge. It doesn't look as big as it is. Like, it's an enormous vehicle. It's awkward. There's amazing hit detection on the base of it, especially the landing gear that will just spin it around. It's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt to drive. And you'll see, I'm gonna actually run this video until the first time I spin it around. And then we just kind of hobble it back to the garage on the first. It's so pointless. The only reason this thing even exists as far as going into import-export garages is so, like, you can't finish the import-export garage before you get to the garage. That's my theory. So there, I clip a land stalker, I'm sideways. Alright, so we turn this thing in, and you'll see how big this thing is. Compared to other, we didn't have any trouble getting any vehicle into this garage. And like, this thing is the size of the garage door. It does take damage pretty well, though. So there we go. So we get $20,000, and then icons in this garage that if we touch them, will spawn any of the cars that we have collected. So anytime we want, we can come here and get a Rumpo, or a Dodo, or a Blista, or a Bobcat, or a Mr. Whoopi, or a Trash Master, or a Flatbed, or a Moonbeam. Like, it's ridiculous. There's zero reason why you do want to do that. You have to for 100%, which we're not even going for. But, whatever. It's complete now. It's done. So here's our Stinger. This thing gets really beat up on the way. I was actually I think I was driving the Kuruma back. And yeah, you'll see this thing takes a beat. So this is what it looks like when I'm delivering it. I got in a firefight with it at one point. Like, I was chasing somebody around. Yeah, you hear the explosion as I'm parking it. The person I killed. All right, and that's our next car right there. We need a Kuruma. That's our Kuruma. So we're getting there. We still need 2 sports cars, a perennial, and a BF injector. So here is our Banshee. And of course, if you didn't get this one, there's one that spawns right by where you would get missions from Asuka. And this is where I'm gonna get busted, is after I deliver this. I was not yet familiar enough with the islands. I'm still not very familiar with these islands. And I was looking for a police bribe and couldn't find one in time. And ended up getting my doors knocked off, and a cop got too close and pulled out his gun, and I was busted. There we go. That's all it took. So here is our Cheetah, our last sports car. And now we have like my vote for like one of the worst cars in the game. I think the Landstalker is the worst vehicle in the game, personally, but this is probably the worst car. Like, absolutely worthless. You would never want this car, but I found it under the overpass here. And it's the perennial, the station wagon. It's horrible, horrible vehicle. So now we just need the BF injection, which we stole during the LP and parked. So we know where it spawns. It spawns right by where you get the El Burro missions. So, well, we have a long drive ahead of us, but, you know, it's always there. So there we go. One BF injection. And that'll complete this garage. And then we can spawn any sports car we want, anything like that, which, yeah, that's fine. That's at least somewhat useful. And I mean, again, $20,000. So here they all are. So we get a cabbie anytime we want, or BF injection. It does, I mean, it does put the BF injection on 2 different islands, which is, I guess, okay. The idea of getting like a Stinger or a Banshee or an Infernus, like, or Cheetah, that makes sense. So now we have to complete the emergency list, and the emergency list involves the fire truck, the ambulance, What I did for this, by the way, was I got a wanted level by my hideout because we need an FBI car. They only come out when you have a 5-star wanted level. Down here, cars will not drive in. The helicopters will come down and shoot at you. So I was trying to pull one vehicle in at a time, hoping I would get an FBI car and would be able to kill the FBI agents with like a grenade or something. Or a firebomb. And I actually despawned them by accident. So what you need is the ambulance, the fire truck, the police car, the armored like police carrier vehicle, the OL, the barracks OL, the Rhino, and the FBI car for the emergency crane. And then it'll spawn all of those. Like, anytime you want. So you can get a Rhino for every, you know, every island if you want, I guess. Well, you can only fit it really in the garage here. Maybe on the first island you could fit it in the garage. I tried on the third island and couldn't do it. So what you want to do is you want to get yourself a 5-star wanted level. You have the I did it here because you can hide under the overhang when the helicopter comes, and there's the respawnable body armor. But what you kind of want to do, and I kind of wanted that car there as like a barrier. But what you want to do is go up and you'll know when the FBI comes, you'll hear all 4 doors. Right there. Those guys will murder you. And so I turned around to shoot them. And they despawned. Like, I shot their car a bunch of times thinking they were still over there. And they were not. So there we go. This is my first attempt, too. I didn't really have a plan. It just worked out that way. Which is nice. So now we'll do the same thing we did with the Rhino. We'll just reload our game. And now we'll drive them both over to the emergency crane and we'll be done. Yeah, some people for the Rhino push the one from Phil's all the way down to their garage. And then like put it in their garage. I don't know if you have to blow it up and then let your garage heal it before it unlocks itself, but I think you could also maybe knock the door off of it somehow, but none of that it's easier to just steal one at a 6-star wanted level, really. It's not as hard as they make it sound. So there's our FBI car. It's gone. It's the hardest car to get in the game. 5-star wanted level. It's ridiculous. You could maybe in the red light district across from Luigi's. There's like a little area where you could maybe lure FBI guys in, but then you would have to you have to get through a 5-star wanted level back to a garage. And like that's the rough part. That's why I did it right next to a garage. So the Rhino is the last thing we have to turn in. And you know, if you take it easy with this thing, try to actually avoid traffic. I actually got it there without ever picking up a permanent wanted level. And it seemed worth it to, like, if I wasn't going to do vigilante missions, to get an infinite amount of rhinos. Like, I could get a rhino and park it, and then go get another rhino and park it somewhere else if I want. Go get a third rhino and drive it around. So, there we go. Those containers don't exist, apparently. Or that rhino is interdimensional. Which makes it all the more powerful. So there we go. Now we have access to any vehicle we want, essentially. Which is pretty cool. When we come back, more of this game. Bye, everybody.